Let's talk about opening a new attendance month for editing. Before we dive into how this is performed, let us quickly review how data flows using this attendance application, so that we have a better understanding of the overall process. First, we start with the attendance application. Always remember that any data modified is local to the attendance app only. Think of it as a sandbox where you can manipulate data until it is ready to move forward in the process. The attendance app interfaces with the Level 1 container when you initiate a request for import. This process is done for you automatically the very first time you edit a month for processing, since it is a required step. This initial Level 1 import is simply to allow our system to copy down any records that have already migrated from Level 0 to the Level 1 container. After the import completes, if any records were skipped due to errors, you will be shown a report on the screen with the details. You can contact your ESB support group for assistance in researching any such errors. At this point, you've completed the Level 1 import process and are ready to move on to the next step. Now that we have retrieved all the existing records currently stored in Level 1, you need to add your own local data. This is done by importing a CSV file with your local attendance data. As before, after the import completes, if any records were skipped due to errors, you will be shown a report on the screen with the details. You can contact your ESB support group for assistance in researching any such errors. At this point, all of your import routines have been completed, and the attendance app now contains all the attendance records currently available. Let's move on to the next step in the data flow, which is the editing of the data. Now that all your existing data is stored in the attendance app, let's cover the main responsibilities in completing your attendance data. At this point, you need to edit your attendance records and clear any errors that the system has identified. You do this by deleting records, modifying records, and creating missing records. Remember, your goal is to reach 100% attendance record reporting. Only once you have cleaned all your data and reached 100% of the expected record count without any errors, will you be able to initiate an export of the attendance data to Level 0. Once the data is received and processed by Level 0, you will need to lock the data within the Level 0 portal. After this, the data will transfer to Level 1 and then later transfer to Level 2. Now that we've reviewed the data flow, let's go ahead and perform the steps we spoke about. First, on the main menu, click on the Process Attendance button. You will see a list of available months to work with. This list is based on your day calendar. The system will enforce that you process the months in sequential order. When you click on the Open for Processing button, you will be prompted by the system for confirmation. This message will remind you that the system allows only 2 consecutive months at any given time to be open for processing. As you export and close out months, additional months will become available for processing within this list. Let's go ahead and click the Yes button to confirm that we want to proceed. The system will recognize that this is the first time you are accessing this particular month of data and will initiate a Level 1 data import for you. This will copy all attendance records currently found within the Level 1 container. Please be aware that this process may take several minutes depending on how much information is being downloaded, and that the system is also simultaneously running additional error checks on each record to ensure there are no errors. You will then be brought to the main attendance data editing screen. Here you see a list of all the attendance data that the system currently has. Let's review the different areas on this screen. At the top of the listing you will see a toolbar. First, you will see the Import menu. Clicking on this will allow you to select between performing a Level 1 import or a CSV import. Next, you will see the Actions menu. As the name implies, this menu will give you options on performing certain actions on the data directly, including creating missing records, deleting selected records en masse, re-evaluating only records with errors, performing a full error check on all records, and finally, exporting to Level 0. It is suggested and encouraged that you perform a full error check before you export to Level 0, as this will catch any errors that were created by New York City submitting updated data after you initially created your attendance records. Exporting to Level 0 can only be performed when you have no errors and your completion rate is at 100%. Once you export to Level 0, the month you are currently working on will be closed for editing. Any future edits will need to be performed within the Level 0 portal. Next, you will see the positive attendance rate, which is calculated based on the records currently within the attendance app. Next you will see the completion rate, which is based on your current day calendar and student enrollment records found in Level 1. Using this information, the attendance app can calculate the exact number of attendance records you are supposed to report for the month, and then displays to you how much of that expected record count has been completed. Within the parenthesis you will also be shown the current total record count currently stored in the attendance app. If you have any errors, you will see a warning message in red with the total number of errors that you currently have, which need to be addressed. Next you will see an audit log button. This will display an audit trail of all the actions that were performed on this month's data. Finally, you will see a Go Back button, which will return you to the previous screen. Just underneath the toolbar, you will see headers for each column. On the right side of this row, you will notice a button with an image of a funnel. This button activates the filter feature. When clicked, all of the filterable columns will have their headers changed to drop-down lists. Within each list, you will see only the unique data that is found within that column. This allows you to filter the information displayed on your screen to show you only specific entries. For example, you can review all records for a particular student, a particular grade level, or a specific date. When you are done and want to clear the filter, simply return to where the filter button was located, which now appears as an X. Click this to clear your filter and resume viewing all data.